Welcome to the Professor Lending Institute, where we make sense of housing economics and your home buying journey. I'm Jordan Steffaniak, president of Professor Lending, licensed loan originator, and your home buying professor. In this episode, I want to explain or discuss a little bit the nature of should you trust an online mortgage lender? I know, I get it. You probably went to some online website, LendingTree, Bankrate, you name it. You plugged in a little bit of your information to see what are today's rates, what can I afford, what can I qualify for, given my credit and whatever else it is. You want to know. Today's rates are 6%, 5%. Can you get a little bit lower? What's it look like? And now you need to turn your phone into the witness protection program because your phone is ringing off the hook with all of these hungry, needy lenders trying to get your business. But can you trust them? Maybe they have a much lower rate than your local bank. Maybe they're at a 5 and your local bank's at a 6. Whatever it is that difference worth it? Is $200 a month, $300 a month, whatever it may be in that rate, is it worth the headache? Are they trustworthy? Will they actually get you to the closing table? Those are important questions. So you need to define, first of all, trust. First, can they actually fund a loan for you? Yes. As long as they're a licensed mortgage business and a licensed loan originator is calling you, they can. And why do I say that? Because the mortgage industry is a highly regulated industry. It is extremely unlikely that any case would ever happen, even online where you don't know them, and they couldn't fund your loan. Now the question though is, do you trust them to close your loan on time, to give you the best loan scenario for your own needs, to give you customized service, to actually keep you abreast of things so you're not completely freaking out, having no idea what's going on? Can you trust them to do those things? I would say most of the time, probably not. But there are off chances you can. So let me walk through a couple of these questions to give you a little bit of a sense for should I do this? Is it worth X number of dollars? Now, hear me out. It's not just online lenders where you can get good pricing. You can get good pricing in regular local businesses, mortgage brokers, banks, whoever else. You can find competitive rates there. So don't just take LendingTree's word for it. Not everybody's on LendingTree. Not everybody's on Bankrate. You're getting a highly customized set of lenders. So think about that. Just because you think you have the best rate here, go talk to somebody else. You might actually be able to match it or get better. Now, can you trust them? Because choosing a mortgage lender is an important decision, and you do want to be able to trust them to do a couple of things. Number one, you want to be able to trust them to close your loan on time. There is nothing worse than selling your house and trying to buy a house at the same time. You sold your house, now you're going to sign for your new one, and you find out closing paperwork's not ready, you can't close for a couple of days. Now you got moving trucks in the front driveway of the house, and you can't move in. That's terrible. You don't want that. I've heard horror stories of that, so you don't want to have that experience. So you want to know that you can trust this lender to actually get you from start to finish. So you need to have somebody you trust. You actually have to know that they have knowledge and the capability to make sure to get you there on time. And when you're doing these online things, you don't know the people, and oftentimes they are brand new people who have no experience in the industry. So you're going to get somebody, there's a 50-50 chance, maybe less, that you're going to close on time. To me, that's not worth it. Now, if you're refinancing, that might be a different question. You might say, it's worth it. I can wait a couple of weeks. It's not a big deal. But then you got to think about rate lock extensions that if they take too long, then you're having to pay for all these things. But that's not the total point of this video. I just want to say you need to make sure they can close on time, which oftentimes they can't. You got to know who the person is. Second thing you want to think about is loan strategy. You got to be able to trust them to structure your loan in such a way that it benefits you and your situation. Maybe you plan to move in 2 to 3 years. So you need to think through what sort of rate you're going to get for that. You don't want to just pick the no-cost rate, or maybe you don't want to pick the lowest. Why would you pick a 2.5% interest rate and pay a bunch of money for that if you know you're going to move in 2 to 3 years? And thinking through 15 versus 30 years versus ARMs, all these different loan scenarios, you need a trusted expert who knows what they're doing and understands your goals, your needs to help structure a loan that benefits you. This is probably the most important decision you're going to make, financial decision you're going to make in your life. It's the most important asset that you're going to have that you can leverage to build wealth for you and your family in the long term. So you need somebody who knows what they're doing and can build this in such a way to benefit you. Can you trust an online person to do that? Maybe, but probably not. Most of these online guys that are in these sort of rate engines don't know what they're doing. That's just the honest truth. And somebody will probably come in the comments and say, no, I know what I'm doing. I've been in the industry for 20 years. You're the exception, not the rule. And you have, if you're on these going on here to look, you have no control over who's contacting you. None whatsoever. You're at the mercy of whoever's calling you first. The last thing is, can you trust them character-wise? For me, I mean, yes, I'd want to pay the least amount of money, but I want to be able to trust the person and know that they have character, to always tell me the truth, to be transparent with me, and to make sure that I understand all the facts. And so that, to me, is very valuable. I'd want somebody who knows what they're doing and is trustworthy, but I cannot discern that just from the online experience. I always have this sinking feeling, if it were me, that maybe they are doing this for their own best interest. Maybe they're structuring it in such a way that somehow it's benefiting them. I don't know. I just want to know that I can trust the person. I know that I need to somehow have some sort of relationship with them, or know that they work for a reputable company, or know that they have a significant amount of experience. Whatever it is, I want to be able to trust them. So for me, can you trust an online lender? Yes and no. Oftentimes with a lot of these sort of tools that you're going to, whether it's LendingTree or whatever else, you can't. That's just the unfortunate truth. There are exceptions to this, of course, but on the whole, it's not the best case. Now, in full transparency, I myself have used some of these online systems to find the lowest rate. But for me, given that I'm a licensed loan originator and I know how this works, I had no qualms and worries over not closing on time, because I know exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it. And I can kind of do the hand-holding myself, even if they don't know what they're doing, which in my experience was definitely very much the case. They had no idea what they were doing, and they wouldn't have closed on time if it wasn't for me sort of leading and driving that process. So should you trust an online mortgage lender? Yes and no, maybe so. I would say probably not, but I would say go ahead and get to know somebody locally if possible, or if you can get on the internet, get to know them somehow, do a virtual meeting if you can, get to know them a little bit. Anyway, that's my case. Thanks for tuning in to this episode from the Professor Lending Institute, and I look forward to educating with you soon, learning with you soon, something, whatever the sign-off is. Thanks for watching.